So we've had a few questions come through on the chat. So we'll start with these. What is the best practice in InEight to make a thread of information? For example, if we have an RFI and it's end with approved variation order. So I think this is talking about a workflow, right, Mike?
It seems like it, yeah. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to tell you the best practice, but what is commonly done is, let's say we notice a clash or an issue from within the model, create a deviation from within that model, and that can then flow into the document system, thus the initiation of an RFI. And now you have a document management system tied to your emails, and you can begin to manage and track and organize the information. And if there's a workflow, both the document side of it and the model side have the workflow. We've even seen it go the other way, where the workflow initiates a document and then asks to tie back to the model element. So that would be a simple answer, I think. Certainly in conversations, we can get in more detail.
Yeah, I hope that's answered the question. Mike spoke quite a lot about data sovereignty and that being one of the advantages on why it was chosen on Amala. And data sovereignty is something that comes up again and again, especially when we're talking about common data environments. I know that the Saudi cloud computing law is developing, and people are starting to understand it. It's a fairly new law, and people are still trying to get their head around it. So I just want to go around on the Giga projects and see how you're approaching data sovereignty. What are your sort of approaches towards making sure that your data sits within the kingdom? We'll start with Arsen, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, I think, Prakash, we have faced this challenge when we were trying to establish our common data environment. Obviously, there is our common data environment is not just one piece of software. It's made of, certain key components like your EDMS, your PI, project information management system. So for the first one, it obviously sits within the kingdom, and for the second one, we had to sort of like segregate between the data and make it cloud-based, because you have commercially sensitive data that you would like definitely to sit within the jurisdiction of KSA, and then you have technical day-to-day collaboration data that is okay to be, sift around using internet and using cloud. So that's the approach we're taking now for establishing the next bit of our CDE.
Thanks, Arsen. And Mohammed, Sherif, is that something is that similar to your approach?
Yeah, exactly. To approach the common data environment, you have to use multiple solutions, because the limitation with each solution, the need that you are looking for, the integration, and so on. So within Qiddiya, we are using 5 solutions to achieve the common data environment and the information to be exchanged, and we have the integrations between both of them. One of these solutions, the information is hosted outside Saudi Arabia, but as Arsen mentioned, it's purely technical information. All the financial information is located inside Qiddiya, even within the servers of Qiddiya. The geospatial information also inside Qiddiya, and so on. So it's only the pure technical information which need the supply chain to be engaged with their authoring solutions. Okay, it's located outside Saudi Arabia.
Oh, brilliant. And Mohamed, Aldawood, is anything to add to that? Anything different from that?
I can say similarly to the Red Sea Development Company, is no different regarding the information sovereignty, regarding having it within the Saudi Arabia, unless if there are some exceptions that could be provided by the cybersecurity team regarding which data that would be available, such as the technical data. But also on the technical data, still we have our information protocol that assures the copyrights and the information ownership of that is the Red Sea Development Company. So regardless of where the information sits, still the copyrights of that information sits with the Red Sea.
Fantastic. One more question. I think a few of you mentioned digital twins. So can you just talk about how the asset information model feeds into a digital twin? We'll start with you, Mohammed. Sherif.
Okay. To achieve the handing over to the digital twins, this is matching, or it's supposed to be following the strategy of the smart city, because Qiddiya, we have at the end, one city will be managed. Till now, all of these items still in the strategy level. We don't have any asset had been or facility had been reached to the handover process, but there will be the strategy. There will be a customized digital twin with the integration with the sensors and other operating system like the PMS and so on. The second thing, the use for the digital twin will be linked to the Unreal Engine, the gaming engine, to provide a training for the users and use the information as well for the marketing purposes.
Brilliant. And Mohamed, Aldawood?
Yeah, for the digital twin, which is the enabler as a cornerstone of as enabler to the smart destination solution that we have, where multiple of the systems will be connected into. So it feeds to the operational data and the data acquisition sensors as it feeds to that. So people will be able to seek the for the users there will be the for the guests, that will be the PMS, where the sensors can have reactive behavior into that. For the operations, they will be able to assess where the problems are using these data solutions, and they can visualize the sensors on top of the model. So it is just the holistic view of the asset information model and running in parallel with the operational use, which creates the digital twin for us. Yeah.
Brilliant. So I think that's all we have time for in terms of questions.